What's going on, guys? This is the RPO podcast. We are back live. I'm so happy to be here today. I am your host, Jerome Jones. We got Ray Roberts in the building. How are you doing today, Mr. Ray?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited. I'm happy that we are finally able to have this podcast because last week wasn't able to do it. Oh,
Yeah.
not last week. I'm sorry, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
We had some technical difficulties, but we're
Yes.
back. We're here on Friday. We're super excited to talk about some football because we got a lot to talk about today. So if you guys are in here for the first time, it's an interactive podcast. We love having interactions. This week we'll be talking about the SEC, so we know it's going to be some good discussions. So basically, make sure you put your comments and comment and your discussions and anything that you want to talk about. Throw it right in the comment section. We love to interact with all you guys. So we thank you all for being in here. Let's get into some college football news, right? Because we got a lot to talk about. We have a good amount of players that opted out. We got about 6 right here. I got 6 notable players that opted out for this season. We got Randall Moore from Purdue. We got Gregory Ruscio. I think that's how I say his last name. From Miami, we got Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. We got Jacob Pensasaki. I don't know. From Michigan State, we got Michael Persman from Penn State, and we got Caleb Fairley, which we talked about last week, cornerback from Virginia Tech. So these are some big names that are opting out for the season. Ray, do you see any other big names possibly opting out for the 2020 season because of COVID?
No, because you can't foresee how people are going to take this if they're going to take it that seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like you just said, I think what you've seen is these guys are basically, I think, maybe I'm wrong, I can't be in their head. I'm sure part of it is the fact of, the chance of getting the virus. But I think some of these guys are making business decisions thinking, like, Micah Parsons, he knows I'm a top 10, top 15 pick. They have nothing left to prove, so they're kind of just going to let their game film fall from the year before.
Definitely.
I think it won't hurt any of them guys. I think Rondell Moore, because I'm a little surprised about him. He is the one I'm sure he's just thinking about physically, not getting sick because he's coming off of an injury at the end of last year, and he probably could have helped himself draft-wise if he had some good film on him. So he is one of the guys, I'm sure he is just worried about getting sick. So,
Definitely. And it's crazy how the whole thing I'm sorry. We just got a little comment in here. Talk about my Michigan team. But anyway, I'll pop that up in a second. But yeah, I totally understand. Like it's crazy how players are opting out, and I do agree that I was more surprised about him than Micah, because Micah he's going to be a top 5 player. He might slide a little bit because he's not playing this year. You know how I don't think he's going to slide more than like 3 or 4 spots, to be honest. He's just that talented.
If he slides, it'll be more because he's a linebacker than because of not playing this year. Because people kind of know that this kid can do everything. So just let him go play football for you,
Definitely.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Drum. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's good because some players are gonna be fresh and don't have to worry about injuries. Also, that's the best part about it. But also, I respect the players that are opting out because of the fact that they are, some of these guys have deaths in families and or family members that had been affected already, and they want to protect their family, and I totally understand that.
Well, for one, you brought up exactly the point I was going to say. These guys are they're going to come in next year with fresh legs. Mm-hmm. They're not going to have to worry about injury. They're going to be ready. They're probably going to focus for the combine, and hopefully the combine will happen next year.
Yeah,
but we'll see what happens with that. And again, man, we preach here, even as a company, we preach family faith football. I mean, so when you put one of the other two first, I can't knock you for that,
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna pick up this disrespectful comment from one of our inside the hatches employees. So watch yourself. He might not be here next week. All right. Anyway, he said the whole Michigan roster opt out, so they won't have to play Ohio State. Anyway,
Let me guess, it's an Ohio State fan. Yeah,
I don't remember if he's an Ohio State fan, but
yes.
hey, Mr. Disrespectful, very disrespectful. We're gonna have to talk after this. Anyway, it's all love. It's all love. All right, so we're gonna get into our topics from last week. Last week we ended off talking about cornerbacks. This week we're gonna talk about safety. So we're gonna talk about the top 5 safeties in the NCAA. Ray got his list. I got Tom Stone's list. Tom Stone, thank you so much for your list of each week. You know, we appreciate you, even though we slam your list every week also. But we do thank you for your list. So we're going to get right into this. Ray, you start off. Who is your top 5?
Well, number 1, I have Andre Sisco from Syracuse. The kid can do everything. He can cover. He's probably the best cover safety in this year's draft. The one thing I will say is I would like it if he would rap a little bit better when he comes up and tackles guys. He's a hitter. He'll come up and he'll stick you, but sometimes he doesn't wrap up quite well enough. But I have Andre Sisco, number 1 from Syracuse. And this is going to be this next one is for Tom, because he had Javon Holland as a corner. I have Javon Holland as a safety. I think Javon Hollins plays a lot. He plays mostly slot. But to me, when you play mostly slot at college, that makes you a safety.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you're and he's not a nickel corner. He's not a small guy who can only play there. He's a pretty physical guy who can do a lot of different things. But I have Holland as a safety. I have him probably as my number 2 guy. I think if you play this kid at free safety, he's going to be a really good football player. If you put him at slot corner, he's not going to be great there, I don't think. I think he's more fluid of an athlete. I don't know if he has the speed to play, cornerback. So, my number 3 is I have Nasser Nazardine from Florida State. I actually had him as my number 1 safety going into the season. Going into the 2019 season, I have him as my number 1 free safety coming in. But again, he's a kid who is a good player. He's a good athlete. He's a little pigeonholed because of his length. I think he can be a good player as a safety. I think he's more of a guy who will be like a chess piece guy where he can come up and play the slot. He can drop back in some coverage responsibilities. But the more you do with him near the line of scrimmage, the better of a football player I think he'll be. My 4th guy is Richard LeCount. I like Richard LeCount, Georgia kid. He's more of a coverage safety, though. I think he's only going to be a free safety, but he's going to be a pretty good one. I have him 4. And my number 5 kid is Caden Stern from Texas, another physical thumper type line safety who can come up and do some kind of linebacker responsibilities and is good at covering short zones. In Texas defense, they ask their corners and safeties to play quarters. That's what they all do. They all play like a quarter of the field. I think Stern is going to be that guy who's going to come in and can play up near the line of scrimmage as a good tackler and can also help you out as a coverage guy, short to intermediate. So that's my number 5 guy.
Who was your number 2 guy?
Javon Holland, defensive back from Oregon.
Okay, because I think you miss out on somebody, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Maybe, because even from Tom's list, he has him at number 1. And I really like this safety too. So let me get into his list. Jacoby Stevens from LSU. So did you have him on your list?
I didn't have him on my list.
You did?
I didn't.
Wow. So
I don't have him on my list.
You don't like him? Or
I don't know where I would play him. I don't know if he's a corner or if he's a safety. I'm not sure.
Okay. So you have him as a tweener that you're in between.
Tweener who would be, if I had another one, I may go him or I may go Richie Grant from UCF before him.
Okay. All right. Well, I spilled the beans on the first one. Let's get to his second one. He has Kobe Havel Pill from Oklahoma State at number 2. Okay. At number 3, he has Andre Sisco from Syracuse, so who you was talking about. I like him a lot as well. Another safety I like is Paris Ford from Pitt. I like him. And number 5, he has Talanoa Hufanga from USC.
Yeah, he likes some West Coast guys, man.
He
Way
does.
more than I do.
He does.
I like teams that play defense, though. You know. So.
Ooh. Ooh. All right. How you feel about his list, Ray? And the order that he has.
I think that he has guys that are more free safety type guys. You don't really have guys that are complete football players, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I do agree. He has a lot more free safeties than, and I feel like you have the more box safeties. I mean, there are safeties that could do a little bit. They could do a little bit of both, but yours are more tailored toward the box safeties, and his is more tailored toward the free safeties.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jacoby Stevens, but I think he could even be a linebacker more than a safety. He's a 6'3", 225-pound guy. Is he going to play? He's going to play. That's the one guy he has. He has a guy who's going to be no more than a box safety linebacker at number 1. I don't see that.
Interesting. I like him though. I like him.
I like him. I think he's a good football player. He's a great tackler, but I could see him projecting as a linebacker.
I was just surprised you didn't have him on your list at all. But like coming from what you're talking about now, I see why now. Like he's like one of those Isaiah Simmons kind of players. Not as good, obviously, but one of those players where you're not really sure if you want him a linebacker or safety.
Honestly, if I had to compare him to a safety, I will compare him to Ed Lynch.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Ed Lynch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. John Lynch. I always say Ed Lynch. He'd be a pitcher for the Mets when I was a kid, man. That man
I was like, hold on, what?
I would compare him to John Lynch.
Yeah.
If I'm going to pigeonhole him as what kind of safety he'll be, he's going to be that guy. Is that guy ever the top safety in college football, though? Not usually. They're tweeners.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
I think that the first 2 guys I gave you will be guys that can play free, can play in the box, can tackle, can cover. That's who I would put number 1. That's all.
Yeah, the guys that have the most versatility, I would definitely agree with that. Putting them first, for sure.
Again, I think if you play the kid from LSU, you're going to play him in the box. He's going to he's going to tackle. He's going to, and he could cover tight ends maybe, but that's about it, man.
I think he can cover tight ends for sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, I honestly, I think that might be one of his stronger suits, covering tight ends.
Yeah, because he's really physical at the line of scrimmage with tight ends, and I understand that too. But against a guy who's more athletic than him, he's going to have a hard time with that guy too. Like the Eagles, the guy from San Francisco, the Eagles, no tight end, they would eat that. They would eat him for lunch, dude.
George Kittle.
Yeah, they would eat him for lunch. Because what is he going to do to him? He's not going to be more physical than George Kittle, and he's not going to run with him. So what's he going to do with him?
Yeah, George Kittle's a beast.
Well, again, I mean, yeah.
I just not to get off the top. I'll get off topic, but I think I just seen an article about George Kittle. He came out the league at like 185 or something like that. Like I don't know if it was he came into the school or he was about to leave school at 185 and then he just bulked up.
Yeah, he started as a slot receiver. And they thought, and he weighed like 185 when he was recruited, and then bulked up to like 225 when he was drafted.
That's insane.
I mean, the kid is a beast. And again, I'm not saying no one can handle George Kittle, but if he's he's the best tight end in football right now. I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, he's amazing. So,
all right, awesome. So, guys, once again, before we get to our next topic, make sure you please leave us your comments and things like that. I know it's a rainy Friday night. I know you inside. Make sure you're watching us, and if you are watching us, make sure you're sharing so your friends can watch us. Come on, make sure you share. All right, let's get into our next topic, the juicy topic, the SEC. We wanted to leave this one for last because we wanted to talk. We had some topics on this one because we know a lot of you guys love the SEC and you love the SEC talk. So we got
Nobody around here loves the SEC, dude. Nobody. So let's not pretend, okay? Let's not pretend like everybody loves. Yeah, no. We
Big
respect
time,
the SEC, but nobody likes them. Okay.
I don't like that. They're fun to watch though. They are fun to watch.
Without a doubt. And it's always fun watching talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. We're gonna do top 3 teams on the SEC East, top 3 teams in the SEC West, and then Ray's gonna tell me a little bit about his combined teams. So let's get right into it, Ray.
All right. Well, you want the East first or the West first?
Let's go East.
Okay, I have Georgia number 1. Not hard to figure out. I mean, they had to replace their quarterback, but they did a good job in getting Jamie Newman from Wake Forest to do that.
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty good job of that. I love Zamir White, their running back, and their wide receiver George Pickens. I think that Georgia still will be the best team in this part of the Eastern part of the conference. I think it'll be. I still think it'll be Georgia and Alabama fighting out for this conference. We'll see how LSU does with a lot of changes on offense. I think they'll still be pretty good, but we'll see. Number 2,
I totally forgot about Jamie Newton going to Georgia. For some reason, I'm still like thinking he's at Wake Forest the whole time. That's
I did a quarterback evaluation with somebody the other day, man, and this kid's he's going to step right into that Georgia offense, and they're going to think this kid's really special, and he is a special athlete.
Oh yeah,
I worry about him at the next level because he has decent arm strength, but not great arm talent. Mm-hmm. But he's going to be good, and he's a great college player. We'll see what happens.
I'm just like, because I totally forgot about that. Like,
I haven't forgotten because I expect Georgia to be pretty good again this year. I do so.
Definitely. Okay, proceed. I'm sorry.
Number 2, I have Florida. Dan Mullen there with Kyle Trask, quarterback, who's a nice college quarterback also. Kyle Pitts, a tight end, who may be their best offensive player. Kadarius Toney, they're all the wide receiver. Tony Grimes, the wide receiver. They're loaded on offense again, like Florida usually is. Cornerback Marco Coleman and Khair Elam may be the best cornerback tandem in this conference this year. Mm-hmm. Very good. So, I mean, I have them at number 2, and that's number 10. Excuse me. I have Tennessee at number 3. Brian Murray at quarterback, Josh Palmer at running back, probably their best 2 players, best 2 skill players. I also like Trey Smith, their tackle, which everybody likes. And I like Henry Tutu, their linebacker on defense. Great name, good player. So
it is a great name. All right, yeah. So let's talk about Tom's. So number 1, he has Florida. Now, at first, to be honest, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Georgia's lost a lot of players, blah blah blah. And then I totally forgot about Newman. So I'm totally gonna like reverse my thought of that, and I think that's completely stupid.
I'm not going to say it's stupid because I think Florida will be a pretty good team. But I think Florida will win 8 or 9 games, and I think Georgia will win 10. I do. So
definitely. Okay, definitely. Yeah. It just, I don't know, like a team coming off of like the year that Florida had last year, it wasn't great. It wasn't good. And I just think that bounce back, like I said, if thinking about Georgia and the weapons they lost 2 of their top offensive linemen. They lost their best running back, which Zaire White is a great back.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a really good back still.
Georgia, man, DeAndre Swift is a special player, and he's not going to be easy to replace.
Correct.
But that's why you'll see Jamie Newman take away some of that running load that DeAndre Swift is going to leave. I mean, Georgia's offense is going to be very good, man. I don't care what anybody tries to tell me; it's going to be good. So
definitely.
Before
we continue, Mr. Remy is in the building, and he says hi, Raymond. He says hi.
Hello.
Our friend Remy, thank you for being on, Remy. We appreciate you always being on. He also says Georgia might take the SEC this year. I agree. So
I
Tom,
don't disagree with that, man.
yeah, Tom has him as number 2. So to get to the second part of the list, he has him at number 2.
Right.
Yeah. And then at number 3, he has Tennessee. So similar to yours, right? He just flip-flopped 1 and 2. Do you think it's that close though?
No, I don't.
I don't either, actually.
I don't really.
I mean, again, I totally forgot about Jimmy Newton. I keep thinking he's still in Wake Forest. But after you told me that, and I totally forgot about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, he did transfer. Dude, Georgia's gonna be good.
I expect Florida to win 8 games, and I expect Georgia to win 10. That's all. I mean, obviously, if the season plays out the way it should, unless games are missed, that's what I say. I see Georgia as a pretty much, they lost a lot of talent, but they've replaced talent with talent. Yep. And I don't expect them to be that much worse than they've been.
Yep, that's exactly what Remy just said.
I like Jake Fromm. Yeah. Athletically, he's not Jamie Newman.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, and what like Remy just said, he said I think they're gonna be loaded, which I totally agree. They're gonna I agree. They have talent. Like they lost a lot, but at the same time they got it right back, and it's insane.
Again, it's like when Hurts went to Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. You see guys flock to good teams, man, and they perform. I expect Jamie Newman to perform at Georgia, and if he plays well enough, maybe be in the conversation as the next quarterback after the top 2 or 3 or 4 in this year's draft.
Yeah, even Oklahoma, like you're saying with Oklahoma, their QB, they just got they lost Hurts, and now they just got another QB. What's his name? Ratliff. I think he's gonna be good.
Ratliff, yeah, he's good too. Yeah,
it's gonna be good. It's like just replenish right after one another. This is crazy. Yeah. No one at all after Alabama, Georgia, Florida drop off is significant. So he's saying
I agree with that. I think Alabama I still think Alabama will be the number 1 team. I do worry about their replacement at quarterback. Mm-hmm. Way more than I worry about Georgia, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
I just think that does Georgia have a shot with Alabama? Team-wise, yes. Personnel, yes, they have a shot. But if I got to bet on a coach, I'll bet on Nick Saban over Kirby Smart. That's all.
Definitely. And let's get into that list let's get into that part of the list because I am going to talk about some of the Alabama teams. So let's get into the West, Ray, with that. So go ahead. Give me your top 3 teams in the West.
I have Alabama 1. I'm just going to make it easy. I have LSU 2, and I have Auburn 3.
Auburn.
Okay. I think that again, Alabama is still loaded. Yeah, they got Mac Jones replacing Tua quarterback, but he played a little bit last year. He did an okay job playing last year. And they still have Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, and they have Dylan Moses and Patrick Surtain on defense. They're going to be good. Are they going to be as good as Georgia when it's all said and done? Is probably the big question. Mm-hmm. I still think, again, I'll take their coach, but I don't really need to go all that way. I think they're way better than LSU this year. I do.
Okay, so let's get to the Alabama part. Well, let me tell you Tom's list, and then we'll talk about that. So Tom's list is very similar. Alabama first, LSU's 2, and then he has Texas A&M actually number 3. They're a sneaky team. I like them actually. So I don't hate that list.
I like those picks better than I like picking Georgia. I mean Florida over Georgia.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Texas A&M has similar talent. I like Gus Malzahn, Auburn's coach. I'll stick with them for now, but I think Texas A&M has similar talent to Auburn. I do. I think that also. So
I agree.
We'll see.
I agree. Yeah. So going back on Alabama, like you said, Alabama's quarterback. I keep forgetting his name.
Mac Jones.
I'm not high on him either. And he lost to his brother, so they don't have Tua's brother anymore. He's going to Maryland now, so he just transferred. He actually got approved today. I know there was talk about it. He actually got approved today. He's going to be eligible right away. So that's some breaking news as well. I forgot to mention earlier, but it wasn't too much breaking news because we already kind of knew he was going to go. But anyway, so yeah, Tua's brother's not going to be there anymore. It's Matt Jones' team to lose, but he got weapons, man. We was talking about the weapons last year that Alabama had. They got another two set of first round wide receivers in their disposal this year. They still got Najee Harris as running back. I think Alabama's like got weapons around Matt Jones, so like he don't need to be the center point of that offense. They got a really good offensive line still. My guy is still playing guard. He was a freshman last year. I forget his name that fast. Man, blanking on his name, but he's really good. My guy, but I forgot his name. But yeah, so Alabama's gonna be good. But as we were talking about with Georgia losing a lot of people, LSU's lost a lot of players. I think they lost like at least 12 offensive and defensive starters combined, something like that.
And it's not only that they lost it; they lost. Let's face it. Their quarterback had a ridiculous season last year, man, and that's all there is to it.
Remy literally said exactly what I just said. Like literally just said that. So yeah, they lost a lot. That's gonna be very, like Remy saying, it's gonna be very interesting to see how they play, because they lost their best quarterback, they lost their best running back. Maybe not their best wide receiver, because I love myself some what's his name? Help me out. What's
Jamar Chase?
There you go, Chase.
Jamar Chase.
I think Jamar Chase is way better than
I think
Justin Jefferson. I like Justin Jefferson. I like Jeff Jefferson a lot. That's not to put anything down on him, but Chase is going to be the first wide receiver out of this draft, I think, in my opinion.
No, he's a stud.
Yeah, he's big, he's physical, fast.
He can do everything.
Yeah, exactly. So,
absolutely.
So they do got that weapon. They lost both their tight ends also, and a bunch
number one running back.
Yeah,
and let's face it, the quarterback made everything quick last year, and now they lost too many players from there.
And they don't have their offensive coordinator anymore.
Right, and they lost their offensive coordinator.
Yeah. So it's gonna be very see what Coach O do with LSU this year. I don't even know who's their backup. I mean, their starting quarterback now.
Well, Miles Brennan is going to be their backup quarterback. He's going to be the starting quarterback this year. I mean, there's really not much else besides him. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have a solid defense still. They have like the best cornerback in college, or one of the top one or two quarterbacks in college football. Mm-hmm. But again, they were getting big leads on team last year and basically just pinning their ears back and going after the quarterback. They're not going to be able to do that again this year. They're not going to jump out the leads the way they did last year. Miles Brennan is a nice quarterback. Joe Burrow was special. Now, I know Burrow was only special for that 1 year, but that's what it was, man. The guy was special last year, so.
Definitely. I'm going to put this question out for you and the viewers out there. Kind of ties into what we were talking about in the beginning and what we're talking about now. Now, we know a lot of teams are opting out for the season and going to the spring season. One of the things that I've seen online, it was actually Matt Miller of Bleacher Report. He actually said this, that there might actually be a possibility that some teams from the SCF, switch from winter football, obviously, to spring football, which leaves a player like what's his name, Trey Smith. Trey
Smith,
from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Matt Miller said it will be very interesting to see him transfer to LSU. That would be crazy.
I don't know if you can do that. Can you?
I think you can.
Because
I see there are a couple of SCS players, I believe.
I thought the only way you could transfer is if you transfer in conference.
No, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, if anybody knows the answer to this, please let us know in the comment section. But I do believe that you can transfer. Depending, and I think it depends on the situation too. Like they make it really hard for them to do that kind of transfer, but I'm pretty sure he can, especially for his talent level and everything like that. I'm pretty sure they're gonna work something out. But if he's able to do that, that would be insane. LSU would be one of the top teams again, I think.
Yeah, I just don't know if they would let that happen. To be honest with you, I don't know that.
All right. Well, we'll definitely try to see if we can, do some research on that and let you guys know if that's something that's an option. Well, let's get into our next topic, and we're gonna get right into this with the top 10 players of the SEC. This is gonna be juicy because there's a lot of good talent in this conference. So there's gonna be a lot of players on the list, and there's gonna be a lot of players off the list. So, Ray, let's get right into your top 5 players of SEC college football. Let's go.
Well, number 1, I have Jamar Chase, wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
I mean, kid's a little bit of everything, man. Can runs great patterns, can beat you at any level of the field, long, deep, short. Yeah, can do a little bit of everything on the field. So I had him at number 1. I have Patrick Surtain Jr. at number 2, cornerback from Alabama. Nice. I love Patrick Surtain. I think he's an excellent football player, a guy who can do everything, a guy who can tackle, can play man, can play zone coverage, can do everything.
Did Ray just say that he loves a cornerback?
I love guys that tackle. You know that. My biggest knock against corners is they usually don't like contact.
I agree. I know. That drives me crazy.
As the phrase goes, they don't like me some contact. Okay, man.
That drives me crazy too.
Okay, well, number 3, I have Derek Stingley from LSU, corner from LSU. So it's not that I don't like corners. I like guys to tackle. Okay. All right. Well, anyway.
Okay, right.
Number 4, I have Kylan Hill, running back from Mississippi State. Big slashing running back, good football player, breaks tackles. I wish they would ask him to catch the ball a little bit more because I think he has solid hands, but you don't see him do that in Mississippi State. But I have him at number 4. And I have Dylan Moses, linebacker from Alabama, as number 5.
Nice.
Dylan linebacker. Probably Micah Parsons for Penn State will be the first linebacker taken. Dylan Moses will be the most NFL-ready linebacker taken.
I like it. Good list. I like the look. That was a great list. Great list, Ray. I'm gonna tell you Tom's list. Very similar to yours. Very similar.
Okay.
A couple of guys here and there, but very similar. Number 1, Jamar Chase, wide receiver at LSU. My favorite guy. I'll probably have him at number 1 too. Very good wide receiver, like we talked about earlier. Physical, fast. And he does it all. He reminds me of Julio Jones, to be honest. He reminds me of Julio Jones.
He's not that tall. He just appears taller than he is because he's so super athletic.
No. Yeah, for sure. Number 2, he has Dylan Moses from Alabama, linebacker. Number 3, he has Derek Stingley. So I got him in the same spot as well. LSU corner from LSU. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Number 4, he actually have an offensive lineman. I don't think I ever seen him have offensive lineman top 5 in his list. Trey Smith from Tennessee. Really good lineman. I think he's going to be really, really good. He's going to be one of the top draft picks. And number 5, Kylan Hill, running back from Mississippi State.
Okay.
So similar to yours. What do you think about it, Ray?
I like his list, dude. I have Trey Smith a little bit later than he does, but it's fine. I think Patrick Surtain is better than he does, apparently. That's all.
Yeah. Wait. Ooh, he don't have him on his list. A top 10.
That's ignorant, but that's okay.
Wow. Okay.
Who's the corner hater now?
Still you.
Okay.
That's for all the years coming at my position every time we get on this. But yeah, wow. He don't have him in his top 10. That's very, very, very surprising.
Well, you know how I do it, Drum. I usually rate guys, and then if I think guys are similar in talent, I'll rate the guy who I think may get draft first a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But I will guarantee that Patrick Surtain and Derek Stingley both get taken before Dylan Moses.
Oh,
Almost a guarantee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a linebacker, too. So linebackers usually slide.
Which is yes, but he's a difference maker as a linebacker. But yeah, he is a linebacker. You know.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into your last five, Ray. Who you got?
Okay, well, number 6, I have another corner, Richard LeCount from Georgia. Another kid who's going to be a very good cover corner. Not as physical as the other two guys I named. That's why I have him a little bit lower on the list, but a good football player. Again, Georgia's loaded. They have athletes all over the field. So, again, number 7, I have Trey Smith. My only problem with Trey Smith is I think that in the NFL, at the next level, he'll play either right tackle or maybe even guard. But he's a good football player, and I have him at number 7. My number 8 is Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle from Alabama, who will be a little bit more tested, who will truly be the left tackle protecting the quarterback's blind side this year. After playing with 2 and being the run guy, now he's going to pass protect a little bit more and improve his draft status, hopefully. But I like Alex Leatherwood. He's a good football player. Again, he may be a guy who's more of a right tackle, but we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. Number 9, I had Najee Harris, running back from Alabama. Alabama just they don't lose, man. They lose one guy and the next guy just rolls in. Najee Harris is no different, man. What a good football player.
No pun intended.
What a good football player. No. What a good football player. And my number 10 is Nick Bolton, linebacker from Missouri. Tackling machine, can tackle sideline to sideline. At the NFL level, this kid has a motor that just does not stop, man. Mm-hmm. Very good football player.
Yeah, I've heard something. I haven't got a chance to look at his tape yet, but I heard some things about him. He's getting some high praise, and I'm definitely.
He had 119 tackles last year, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
yeah. That's one of the players that I'm excited to. Excuse me. I'm excited to look into this year.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's get into Tom's list. At number 6. Najee Harris from Alabama, running back, so he has him a little bit higher than you do. Number 7, Nick Bolton, linebacker from Missouri. We just talked about him. He has him at 7. At 8, he has Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle from Alabama. Number 9, Richard LeCount from Georgia.
Yeah.
So he has him over
Surtain
from Alabama, which
is crazy. He likes defensive. He likes safeties that can only cover, but he likes corner. Well, I guess that makes sense though, because he likes corners that just only cover. Okay.
Yeah, he likes cover guys.
Only question is who's going to tackle on his team. Oh, I just answered that question too. Nick Bolton.
I guess he's just tackling everybody.
He better, because he ain't getting no help from the safeties and linebacker. I mean, safeties and corners. He better get him before they get in the open field, brother, because they're done if not.
And then his number 10 guy is Devontae Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. Yeah, he don't have Surtain in his top 10. Also, he don't have a quarterback on his list at all. It's crazy. No, it's not crazy, but it's just funny because Tom is favoring the quarterbacks.
Comp has lost the best 3 quarterbacks in last year.
Yeah,
they lost Tua, they lost Burrow, and they lost Fromm. So that's 3, drafted quarterbacks. They're hard to replace sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the quarterback situation in this conference will be very interesting. I mean, they got some talent, like we said, Newman, the kid out of Texas A&M, forgot his name. Kylan, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
And I think there was one other guy, but yeah, they do have some talent in that one, but they're all like those teams. They're not like the bigger team. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the quarterback situation plays out in this conference this year.
The crazy thing is the number 1 quarterbacks in college football don't play in the SEC this year, I don't think.
Yeah. And
which is different.
That's rare. That's very rare. Very, very rare. It's obviously Justin Fields and
I mean, we got Lawrence, Fields, Winter, Purdy, Trey Lance, Tanner Morgan. Most of them guys are Big Ten guys.
Sam Howell.
Yeah, they're mostly. Oh yeah, well, he's an ACC guy, I believe.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
And Trevor Lawrence is an ACC guy, but everybody at Fields, Brock Purdy, Tanner Morgan, all Big Ten guys and very good players.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Wish the Michigan had one, but hey, we'll see what Dylan McCaffrey does, man.
Stuff happens, man.
I was actually asking for Dylan McCaffrey at the end of last year at some point when I was disappointed with my Michigan Wolverines. But hey, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes, man. But that is the end of that list, man. Ray, before we get off, I want to hear who you have as your top 5 SEC teams altogether.
SEC teams?
Yes.
I would go Alabama. I would go Georgia. I would go Florida, LSU. Florida, LSU, Auburn.
LSU 4?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost a lot of talent. It's hard to.
I just think that when you have a season like, not only that, man, LSU has been that team. Like, they've been pretty good on defense. Last year, their offense put it together. And then as soon as they did, they lost a lot of players. Mm-hmm. Their wide receiver special, but their other players on offense are not special. They're good, solid players, and we'll see how they turn out. Mm-hmm. But right now, they have, they have one special player on offense. We'll see. I think Florida is the team that I think they could be better than people think. Maybe we'll see how it goes. I think they can. I think that now if they finish behind LSU, I would not be shocked. But I think talent-wise, they're way more closer than they were last year. So
another thing about it too is that you have such a big turnaround for this year for LSU, and the fact that COVID hit them. So with COVID, you don't have that much practice, so there's a lot of new players. It's going to take them a while to get the ball rolling. Do you know what their schedule is this year? Do you have that?
I do not know that for off the top of my head. I mean, I don't think
I have a book here, so I can.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Sneak preview real quick, but yeah, I want to know what their first couple of games are, because, like I said, I think they're gonna really come out very slow starting this year, just because there's so many new teams. And I am okay. Here's Georgia, Florida. All right, I have it right here. Give me 1 second. Georgia, Florida, Kentucky. Where they at? There they are. All right. So their schedule is UTSA, which they should win still. Then I have Tennessee week 2. And again, the schedule might move down some. So the schedule I have, it should still be in the same order, but the dates might be changed. Just letting you guys know. So I have Texas, the second game, which is probably going to be a tough game for them because it's starting off.
Who are we talking about? Whose schedule are we going over?
LSU.
Okay, LSU. Okay.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Number 3, they got Rice. Number 4, they got Ole Miss. Number 5, they got Nicole's. I don't even know what school that is, to be honest. Nicole's.
It's
not a big school at all. And then they got Florida, Oklahoma. Arkansas, Mississippi State, Alabama, South Carolina, Auburn, and then Texas A&M. They should be fine, but you got Florida, you got Alabama, and then you got Auburn on your schedule, and Mississippi State, and then Texas, and then end off with Texas A&M. But I think by Texas A&M, they're gonna kind of get their identity. They're gonna be fine by then because they'll be playing together. But it's gonna be rough early on. I think it's gonna be rough early on. Texas might sneak up on them. I don't think Ole Miss will. Then they got Florida. A little bit. Yeah, I think that's like what's that? Week 7. 8, something like that. So we'll see. I mean, that's going to be the game that's going to tell how far LSU got this year and if they're going to be starting on slow. I think. But I think Texas could sneak up on them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think honestly that when you're that team, you have that magical type of a season. The next year, you're kind of due for a letdown. I see that coming, to be honest with you.
Definitely. They're projected.
I see LSU 7 wins, maybe.
I was literally about to say that the projected one here is 10-2, but they probably didn't put a lot of stock into COVID situation and all that as well. 10-2 is very, very generous, to be honest. Very generous.
I mean, I can see them winning 8, maybe 9 games.
Yeah,
like if they win a couple of them, like the Texas game.
I say
games the games in conference are always going to be big games for them because them teams play pretty tough anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't see Mississippi State beating them. I don't think they're good enough to beat them, but we'll see what happens.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that will end up our podcast for today. Make sure you check us out next week. We'll have a whole new topic. We'll be getting to some juicy new topics next week. Leading into the season, can't wait. We'll be talking about more seasonal kind of things and games and things like that that we like for the season. So make sure you check us out next week on Wednesday. We're back on Wednesday, 7:00 like usual. So make sure you come in, check us out. We do appreciate everybody that's in our chat room. Thank you so much, Remy, for being in the chat room as well. Please make sure you check us out on InsideTheHashes.com where you find all our content. Yes,
before we get off, Ron, can I say one thing?
Go ahead, Ray.
Just so we all know, I just did a lot of math crunching last week, right after our last podcast, and I just want to let everybody think about. I want them to think about this, and then tell me the next podcast we have what they think about it. The SEC has 339 players in the NFL right now. Okay, the closest conference to them is the Big Ten, with 253 NFL players. Okay, then after that, it goes ACC 215, Pac-12 189, Big 12 122. So, like I've been telling people this whole time, it is closer than it's ever been, but the SEC is still the best conference in college football. Okay, so we're good. Yeah. And I don't like them, but it's a fact.
I'm not arguing with that at all. I think you're right, Ray. I think the ties are definitely changing, though. The ties are definitely changing. I think
it's the ebb and flow. It used to be Alabama, Alabama, Notre Dame, Michigan, and USC were the best teams in college football back when I was younger. Yeah, and they had a cycle flux where they were, and then but the SEC has always been the conference that got more good players. They always have, because people like playing in the warm weather. Let's face it.
That's true.
Okay, and like the thing that where the Big Ten can compete with anybody is up front, defense and offensive line. Big Ten teams have great players in the trenches, and that's why they can compete. Yeah. And I'm going to say this: I know that like Ohio State is the one team in the Big Ten who has SEC caliber players at all levels. And that's why I don't shy away from saying that. But anybody who wants to act like the SEC is not the best conference is just delusional. That's all.
Don't get the Ohio State fans in here riled up, man.
I'm not trying to get anybody all riled up, man. I'll be honest with you. Our last podcast, even I had people telling me, man, you need to calm down a little bit. Like, because Jerome, I don't know if you know, I'm going to be a grandfather next year. So I do have to calm down a little bit. But, when you get older, you start to realize you hate repeating yourself. I hate repeating myself, man.
Not hear you. That's all. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on you being a grandfather, right? It's great to hear that. It's super excited to hear that. A new family member in the family. So that's awesome to hear, man. That's really awesome to hear. Guys, thank you so much again for checking us out. If you're in the comment section, please congratulate Ray on his his soon to be born granddaughter or son. So
it's going to be a granddaughter. It's supposed
granddaughter.
The end of January, early February.
Congrats. Wishing all the greatest health to them and a great delivery on everything with that. Guys, please make sure you check us out next week. We'll be on again next week, like I said, Wednesday at 7:00 on our regular schedule. I know today's Friday. You know, people not aware that we switched our schedule, so we do apologize for that. But if you do see this video later on, please make sure you go check, share it, like it. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Facebook, and it's going to be on Twitter. So make sure you share that with your friends and family. We do appreciate all that. Also, make sure you check us out on all your favorite podcast listening, especially Anchor and Spotify. Please go in there and listen to a lot of player interviews. We got some great player interviews that just came up. Also, check us out on YouTube. Make sure you check all that stuff out because it supports us. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to subscribe to anything. All you have to do is listen, and it supports us. So please make sure you do that. We do appreciate each one of you doing that for us. I'm Jerome Jones, your humble host. We got Ray Roberts in the building, grandfather Ray Roberts. We do appreciate everybody being on, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Stay safe, and wear your mask. Peace.
Right.